Hey man, I don't want to hear about your positions. I don't know what you're talking about. That seems a little weird.
Talking about the position of the camera was fuzzy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about something else.
Oh, whatever.
Why are you barking like a dog? I'm like, I don't know. It's doggy. What? I
It
don't
has
understand.
been a hell of a week, and not on It's been a great week on eBay, but it's been a hell of a week on here too.
All right, tell us about your week. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. This is episode 107 of Pocket Change. This week you start seeing we are started last week doing the pick and pass as dailies. We'll continue that process. Last week I just chopped up old ones to see if it would work. This week you'll see actual new ones, and going forward, where we'll do 2 items, one apiece, and that'll work. So, how's it going,
Give
Joel?
you some things not to buy when you go thrifting on your way home from work,
Oh no, I shouldn't buy snow babies.
or for you guys that are lucky enough. And I'm going to say this. God, why was I a reluctant full-time reseller? This working sucks.
This working does suck. I
I'm
know.
working now 8 hours, a 30-minute lunch. That's all I get. And then I go to class for 4 hours. This is 12-hour days, man. I'm too old for this crap. Um,
I agree.
but anyway, we're glad you're with us. I'm not going to complain too much. You probably are complaining too if you're still working. But the whole idea of this is to eventually get to where we don't have to do anything but eBay.
Exactly. But you know what? Sunday, I'm going to get up early and drive to Savannah and move into my part time accommodations for a couple months. I'm going to, Sunday, starting Saturday at midnight, I'm putting my store not on vacation mode, but on close down mode for 2 months. We'll see what happens.
Closed down mode. You won't sell anything at all.
My you won't even be able to see my listings because I talked to my wife again tonight. She's like, no, go ahead and you can just I'll ship it. I told her I love you, but I think third time you have to ship a Matchbox car that's $3 and it takes you 20 minutes to do it because you're not used to doing it. You're going to tell me to go myself, and I don't feel like having that argument.
Why don't you just take your? Why don't you just move it out to 5 days?
I'm not coming home every weekend.
You're not coming home every weekend.
At least not in the beginning. My home is Savannah. I'm moving to Savannah. I'm buying a house there. I'm going to build the Savannah Reseller mansion that everybody can come hang out with me in.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Christy.
And I got fancy. I'm drinking wine tonight, people.
Yeah, we need to publish that one of you drinking wine the other
No,
week.
no, no. That was I drank a bottle and a half of wine. No, not a regular
Oh,
bottle of wine, but like a 1.75 liter and then half of another bottle. Yeah, that podcast doesn't exist. I deleted it because I'm like, wow, I was really drunk.
folks, he couldn't even read the eBay news.
I tried to read the news. I'm like, then you started making up news. That was great. You're like,
No,
I'll look some shit up.
I googled some stuff real quick, trying to save the show. Folks, he was toasted. You would not believe it. Some of you would. Those of you who regularly watch Sipping and Shipping know for a fact a guy who's got his own podcast called Sipping and Shipping.
Yeah, it's probably a problem. And my kids buy me all kinds of alcohol things for Christmas.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, folks, I'll tell you about my week. We'll start there.
All right, how was your week there,
It
brother?
was a great week. Turned out to be a pretty, I won't say great, not the best week I've ever had, but pretty good week. Sold 3 items. Let me actually get my performance up here. I thought I had it up, but apparently I closed it down. So let's go here while I'm looking this up. But I did. I sold 3 items. I could not believe it whatsoever. Let's.
Woohoo! And last week you're like, I don't know if I can pay. I have to pay the bill.
Yeah, I was doing
Yeah,
everything I
you
could
got it.
do and telling you, and folks, I was like, I've never had to. I have never had to. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is it doing this to my date? There we go.
Pay your $4.95.
I haven't had to pay my $4.95 since like over a year. And
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to pay it this time. But okay, so I was up from the last week before last, up. This doesn't seem right. It says I was up 100%, but it's got to be more than that. Quantity
Well,
sold 3,
yeah, you're from zero
total
to
sales
100% better.
71.33.
Woo! Woo!
Net sales $38.99, and what was actually pretty good about it, ladies and gentlemen, let me come back over here so I can see, was that two of the items I sold I had nothing in, and one item I sold I had $2.50 in. So out of that actual net sales here on eBay, it says $38.99, I cleared over $36 after fees and paying for the items and everything. So not a great week. You're not going to retire. You're not going to pay any bills with that. It's not my best week, but to go from weeks of nothing because I wasn't listening, I was working in eBay room. As you can see behind me, I'm still working on it. You see some stuff been shifted around a little bit, so I can work on that side and get that side of the mudding going on it. But basically, it was great to have that, and I think it was because I really put some effort into it. I started listening again. Been taking some things back down though, as I'm getting ready to launch here in February, hopefully somewhat here out of the eBay room as I migrate stuff over. We really should be recording listing tonight. We should have a listing party, but you don't need to list because you're
I'm
going to
not
shut
listening
down.
because I'm putting my stuff on.
Man, I don't know about that. I'd put it on. When are you coming home? You going to stay for 2 weeks? I think I'd do like a 14-day vacation or something. I would not shut it completely down.
I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down because I don't know what I'm doing. Actually, on the way home from Savannah, I stopped and looked at a house that is super cool. It's 3,800 square feet, but I went and I was walking around. So I go, so it's about 30 minutes outside of Savannah. Then you get on this side road, you go down this here, you go, and it's like in the marsh. And across from it is a restaurant. And I'm like, I really like this house. And so I got there, pulled in, got out, started walking around it because there was no one there. But there's a restaurant at right next to it. So I'm pretty sure, but it looked defunct. A restaurant that Ben Affleck goes to. So I'm like, fancy. But it all looked defunct. So I'm pretty sure the house was owned by the restaurant owner, and he died or decided to move, and so the restaurant's not part of the house. It's not for sale. I tried to figure out if it was for sale. So it's really cool. It needs a lot of work, but it's a lot of cosmetic work. The roof seemed good. Everything when you looked at the inside, it wasn't like back to the studs. It just was like purple. There's two rooms that are the same color purple you got behind you. And then there's a pink room and a lime room and a burgundy room. I'm like, man, this is some crazy ugly stuff. But there's a two-car garage that has doors, but then next to it, there's probably enough for three more garage doors. Just huge empty space. That would be perfect for an eBay warehouse. So I'm gonna look at that when I get there,
Okay.
if I stay there.
I think you need to keep looking at Tampa. But
Yeah, well, see what happens. It's cool. Yeah, it is a neat area.
oh, I agree.
Savannah itself is super neat.
Savannah is a neat city. But anyway, all right. So tell us about your weeks. We don't need to talk too much about all this stuff. I got listing to do and get to bed.
We're gonna talk for 2.5 hours. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, so this week I sold $760
Good
and 98
Lord.
cents.
Not listening to things. See, folks,
Not listening to
I've
anything.
wondered what that magic number is. Sounds like it's around 3,000. If you get around 3,000, apparently you can sell and not have to really list all the time.
My average sale price was $38.05.
That's better than mine, $23
Hmm.
average.
And my put in my pocket is $422. So that's not bad. Sold 20 things. It was good. I've done nothing. I'm gonna and Sunday, Saturday night. I'm gonna shut it down for a month and then figure out what I'm doing. So I won't have updates on what I sold because Sunday or Saturday night, Sunday morning, I am shutting it down just until I figure out what I'm doing for the next month.
Folks, we may not be doing our regular podcast. We may go to Pocket Picker Pass only because
I'm going to reach out to the people that said they want to be on the podcast and then try to get them to come on the podcast.
Might be a good idea because if he shuts down completely, you're going to be left with whether I sell anything or not.
Exactly. It won't be a very impressive. You might start selling 14 things a week.
I doubt it, but that would be cool. But of course, I don't know how I would ship them. I had to beg my wife
Yeah.
to take the 3 items I did this week to the post office. She was like, "Really? Do I have to go in?" I'm like, "Yes." She's
Yeah.
like, "Do I have to get a receipt?" Yes, but you can use the little machine. So then she went and she told me about it. She went to the little machine, guys.
Yeah.
She got there. She's like, I couldn't figure out how to get it to scan those barcodes for nothing. I had to type every one of them in. But I stood there and typed every one in for you.
That's great.
Like, wait till I start selling like 40. Then you gotta. Then you can't. Then you don't figure out how to scan them because you won't stand there and type all that.
I'm pretty sure when you get to 40, you're going to be doing this full time.
I don't know. What would 40 times $20 be? I mean, $800. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, $800 a
yeah,
week. I would think you're done. You're moving
yeah.
on. You're not doing that other stuff anymore.
If I got the 40, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do much.
Hmm.
Except this. Of course, I wouldn't probably have time to do anything but this. So
Yeah. Would take all your time.
that is one thing about this, folks. You're not. You're with eBay. If you're listening to our podcast and you think from that you will gain time by being an eBay reseller, you will not. You might gain some, but you'll just gain the ability to do it when you want
When you
to.
want. Yeah.
You don't really gain the time. You don't really gain not working. And I've discovered that most things that out there that tell you you can quit work and you can do this and quit work, most of those are scams. I've tried a lot of them.
Exactly. And I've tried like 14 things that said beat diabetes by eating cinnamon or beat it by sucking on banana peels. None of that shit works. You still got diabetes. You just sucked on a banana peel for no gosh darn reason.
Never heard.
Anything that sounds too good to be true is.
I've never heard of sucking on a banana peel to cure
Oh
diabetes.
no, the stuff that's in the banana, like the skin, it helps fight diabetes. Apparently, from a study that I saw on the internet. Pretty sure it was bullshit, but I may have sucked on a few banana peels for a week or two. Hey man, I'm trying to get rid of the diabetes. I got the sugar. I got the sugars.
You got diabetes. Oh God, remember him?
Hmm?
Diabetes. I miss
Diabetes.
him. Anyway, so let's talk about our favorite buyer of the week. Who is your favorite buyer of the week?
My favorite bar of the week was 1969 underscore Corvette underscore 427.
Wow. We neither know what his dream car is or what he
I think
drives.
already has. Yeah.
It's one or the other. 1969 underscore
Or
Corvette
Corvette
underscore
underscore
427.
427.
Let me guess, you sold him a car part.
Yeah, I sold him a Mr. Gasket 87 head bolt washers. So something for a Corvette.
Okay. All right. I couldn't have ever guessed that.
No, yeah, it was a car part for sure.
All right.
Who's your favorite bar of the week?
My favorite buyer of the week was A-Trax Lear 67. A-Trax Lear 67. That's my favorite buyer of the week. And really, because this guy, he bought a Harley patch and pin, hog owners patch and pin from me. But I thought it was really awesome. The guy lives in Alaska.
Oh, that's cool.
So I was like,
You got to be really committed to driving a freaking motorcycle to live in Alaska because you get 2 weeks a year.
it might be a little longer than that, but
Nah,
still,
I'm saying 2 weeks, but that's about it. Other than that,
you
it's ice and shitty.
you got to be if you're going to drive more than 2 weeks, you got to be tough. I will
Yeah,
say that you probably got to be really tough,
I'm pretty
and
sure arm wrestling will win. Yeah,
I wouldn't even want to try. But yeah, so I thought that was really cool. That was my favorite buyer of the week. Not because he had the coolest name I've ever seen, like sometimes Ben's picks out,
I
but
always pick a
just
good name.
because
If you don't have a good name, you ain't winning.
his location was awesome. Shipping something all the way to Alaska. Now, I've shipped things further because I've shipped to Europe, but well, I don't know. I don't know. I've shipped to like London and one other place. I'm not sure that's as far away as Alaska is from where I'm at. I don't know. Alaska's pretty far. I've been there once. If I ever go again, I don't think you'll get me to leave. But anyway, so that's my favorite buyer of the week. What was your favorite sell of the week?
My favorite sale of the week, I sold some more of those genuine zebra labels. A lot of 16 that fits into a medium. It's a large. It's a large priority box. $150,
You can't beat that.
shipping included.
Well, at that
But I can ship
price,
it for I can ship it for $20, $22.28, and that's stuff as much as you can in there. And it's the third time this guy's bought the same thing from me in Colombia. So I'm thinking maybe it's a drug lord that's printing labels for his kilos of cocaine. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. I don't think it's true, but the third time I sold them. The thing is they are outdated because everybody uses thermal printers, except for apparently in Colombia if you're shipping cocaine. And then you're using the ones you need the printer label ribbons for, the wax ribbons the laser goes through and prints it. So $150 there.
speaking of labels, I actually ran out of labels this week, folks. I had to go back old school on one of them. I only had two left, apparently. And so I had to buy some new ones. I bought some thermal labels, I'm sad to say, off of Amazon because they were dirt cheap. Well,
That is buying
let
for
me
sure.
just say, I bought 500 stick-on labels. At least I think they're stick-on. They say they're supposed to fit my thermal printer for $10.89, and I get them, and they do not look right.
How do they not look
They
right?
don't look right. I don't think they're right. You know how most labels for a thermal printer, and folks, if you've got one, if you don't have one and you're a reseller, you need to buy one. It's great. The second greatest thing I bought for. Most of them have like the wax paper behind them, and then it's rounded
Yeah.
and it's like a rectangular 4x6 rounded cornered label. This doesn't have the wax paper around the edge, and instead of being perforated on the wax paper, it's like this.
You went way too cheap, man. You were like, "Oh, these are cheap. No, I get these.
If
Are they on a roll at least,
yes,
or are they?"
they're on a roll, so they should fit. Only me. That would only happen to me because my mama says I'm special.
Yeah, you are special. You're all. Hey, as long as they work, man.
That's right. If they got a little diamond on the labels, little triangles on the bottom and the top of the label, that'll look cool on a package. Uh,
Sure.
change my name in my store to Sabertooth or something.
You're so crazy.
But anyway, we'll continue with the saga of whether the labels work next podcast. I think it was something to talk about.
What was your sale of the week?
But my sell of the week, and you're gonna hate this because you've had your eye on this pocket watch for a while. It was the Supernatural
Natural. Damn it! I was gonna should have bought that.
Join the Hunt symbol pendant pocket watch, and so I sold that. That was probably my sell of the week. Wasn't the most expensive item of the week, but it was my favorite item of the week because it's a pretty cool watch. It worked really well, and I hope the guy enjoys it that bought it. I think it's a guy. Nope, it's I don't know. Who knows these days? But it's got a lady's first name, so maybe she's buying it for a man in her life or somebody. I don't know.
Maybe she's buying it for
Maybe
herself.
she's
What the
buying
hell?
it for herself. I don't know. He said sexy. Hey,
Sexist,
if
not
you're
sexy.
listening to our podcast and you bought that watch, Ben thinks you're sexy.
No, I do. I said sexist, but she can be sexy.
Oh, you said, oh, I'm sexist.
Don't be sexist, not sexy. Don't be sexy. No, that's not what I said.
We got to keep it sexy, remember?
All right, what's your seller feedback of the week?
I don't have any feedback yet because those items have not hit. Although Michael will be proud of me, I sent out my little notes. I actually got a thank you back from one of them.
There you go. That's your feedback of the week.
I guess, but it's just a thank you. in the message group. Sent my little thing saying, "Hey, it's on its way. It's coming to you. The tracking's posted. Blah blah blah." And boom, there it is. There it is. She sent back a thank you. So
Nice.
yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It's always good to get when it's folks when you send out messages on the eBay platform and they just straight ignore you. It's just it is what it is.
90% of the time,
But
right?
once in a while, you'll get somebody who actually responds. And I've met several cool people on there. People that bought motorcycle parts. I'm always like, "Hey, what do you drive? Hey, what you riding on?" So it's a good way to meet people. But yeah, that was probably my sell of the week.
eBay's your good way to meet people. You're a sad mother.
I work from home.
All right, my seller feedback of the week was excellent item, completely as described, great packaging, fast shipping. Highly recommend this seller. Thank you.
Great package, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I've heard that many times.
Family show.
Mainly from nearsighted ladies. That's fine. Force of habit. Thank you for the feedback.
That's awesome. That's the kind of feedback you want. You either want it short, just short, like great item, or
Never heard that.
or something decent. Something really nice that's meaningful. You don't want to get the eBay standard stuff. You get it, and you're like, okay, great, but it stands out to people who check. There's two types of buyers on eBay, and you have to know this. There are those who are relentlessly checking feedback. Those are the people who are not going to buy from anybody below like a 99%. They're not going to do it. They check the feedback, and you got one negative. Oh God, it might happen to me. You could have 2 million packages land. Great. They're the same people that don't fly on planes because one crashed 40,000 years ago, and they.
The other day. Why are you bringing that up now, man? It crashed.
I guess because it's on my mind. We could talk about that if you want to. I think it's a tragedy. I think it's
No, it's definitely a
I
tragedy.
think it's a tragedy that our politicians acted the way they acted about it. But
You know what?
neither here nor there.
Okay. What Trump said. I went back and watched what he said, and then I watched what was on the news, and they definitely manipulated what he said to make it seem worse than it was.
Well,
So,
I agree. The simple truth of the matter, folks, anytime something like that happens, I get so sick of everybody picking sides out of it. From the politicians to the news to the back and forth, the simple truth is people lost their lives. And we just need to say, this sucks.
sucks. Yeah, it was an accident.
Yeah, this sucks. Anytime
It's
somebody
horrible.
loses their life, it's terrible. Doesn't matter how it is, what it is, it's terrible. Somebody loved them. And, if I had been president, which if you guys want to vote me in, that'll be fine.
I'll vote for you.
I would have just simply said, I'm sorry, folks. This is
Yeah,
terrible.
no, he
If I
definitely.
had been Secretary of the Transportation, I'm sorry, folks. This sucks. If you want to make me kingpin of the news, I'd be glad to do that because I would have just come out and said, folks, this sucks. I'm sorry this happened. This is terrible. We need to think about these people. Sometimes the better is the less you say. You're probably thinking that right now at 25 minutes and 57 seconds in. It'd be good if it say less. But we're here to talk about eBay. We don't usually get very political, and we try our best not to because we're not a political podcast.
No, I agree. But
Um,
Kingpin is a great movie. Have
that
you
is a
seen that movie?
yes, that multiple
Yeah.
times. That is a great
It's
movie. Yes. Now you do know that him getting his hand ripped off. That's a suspicion for where Adam Sandler got the idea for what's his name to have his hand ripped off in Happy Gilmore.
I didn't know that, but you know what? It's not often that a hand gets ripped off in a movie.
It was
Yeah.
an ode to Kingpin. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know which one. It might be absolutely false because there again, like Ben's with his bananas on the internet, you never know. You read stuff on the internet and you're like, what in the world? I can tell you one thing, folks. If you watch our pick and pass, we're definitely telling you the truth. Some of our items really suck
I
that
don't believe
bad.
that. I don't believe that can be a real truth because they both came out in the same year.
Which one came out first, though?
I don't know.
And what was there a link between the two? Was some producer like, I know, let's have the guy's hand ripped off in the next movie? I know, let's have hand ripped off. Wait a minute, Kingpin and Happy Gilmore came out in the same year? Wow.
1996.
Wow.
I doubt it. Happy Gilmore came out December 25th. Kingpin.
Happy Gilmore came out December 25th.
All right.
I do know one thing.
July 26th. So, yes, it was a month later.
I know one thing for sure. Here's what's funny, folks. If you've ever seen both movies, my parents would not let me watch Kingpin, but they let me watch Happy Gilmore. They would not let me watch Kingpin because of the one scene with the lady, the old lady. You remember that
Oh,
scene?
mm,
And the expression she used? Yeah, yeah. A family show.
I'm not doing anything. I'm just like
But they would not let me.
trying to breathe.
They would not let me watch that movie. But
Hey,
they
you got to
let
pay
me
the rent.
watch.
I've paid the rent before in a weird way.
They
You
let
got
me
to pay the
watch
rent.
Happy Gilmore all the way through. That had the dream, the funky dream in it with the midget. And, am I not supposed to say that little people? That's what I'm supposed
Yeah, gosh, you're gonna get us canceled.
to try.
It's messed up. I do remember in '92 going to the place called the Big Kahuna in Dover, Delaware, and doing midget tossing. That was fun. Those people were getting paid to be thrown. It was cool. They had a Velcro suit on you. Try to stick them on the
This
wall.
is so
It was like
wrong.
darts with little people. I didn't say midget.
What's awesome though, we need to get back to being able to make fun of each other. People make fun of me all the time. Look.
I've had that happen to me in the bathroom. They point and laugh. It's messed up.
Anyway, so why are we getting so far off subject? Sorry, Mike.
We got to hurry up and run out of wine.
Yeah, he won't be able to read the eBay news. What else we got to cover? We've covered everything, right?
We did all our
We've
shit.
done all our stuff.
Then we can be like, see you, bitches.
Went through
But
our
no,
performance and everything.
you learn anything this week?
Oh, yes. I promised I would update our folks on how the sales event stacks up against couponing.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so when I ran the coupon before, now the sales event was successful. I cannot say it wasn't because I ended up selling 3 things. It was successful. I'm not going to have to pay the $4.95 out of my own pocket.
Nice.
That being said, the coupon worked much better. So I'm running another coupon to see, but the last time I ran a coupon, it worked much better than this sales event. So right now I'm going to run a coupon and see which actually pans out better. I'm running basically the same amount. I'm just going to see comparatively. But what I compared was traffic versus sales. And the ratio of traffic to sales was much better on the coupon than it was on the sales event. One other thing on the sales event that you can't have happen on the coupon. On the sales event, they actually got me. One of the buyers actually got me, and hey, kudos to you. But they ended up being a watcher, and I sent them an offer, and I didn't realize that on a sales event, the offer, if you make an offer, it stacks on top.
Yeah, because when it sends you the thing, it says this was $10. You gave 15% off. It's now $8.50.
And then if you give 15% more, it drops it down even more. So
yeah,
there's the thing, folks, is you can't do that with a coupon. If you click the little thing that says no other offers can be with this, that's
right.
set at that. But the sales event, it can stack on top of it. And if you got to be careful, are you going to make an offer or you're not? Now, would I have sold that item if I hadn't stacked on top of it? I don't know. Now, what I did was I upped everything by 10% and then gave a sales event of 15%. So really, when I then went in and made a 50% offer, 15% offer, I was only losing like 20% rather than 30. But still, that still was like, oh man. But it probably would have been the same as if I'd given a watcher of a 20%. So that's the way I'm telling myself. But as far as the true metrics of it, traffic to sales, the sales event did not work as well as the coupon has in the past. Now, the coupon in the past was done during a better month. So what I'm doing is I'm running a coupon now just to see, or going to be running it just to measure within the same time frame and see how it pans out.
See what works out. So you can
Yeah.
sell $75 worth. Yeah.
And I think the fair metric is traffic sales.
I think the metric is sales. Screw traffic.
Well, okay, if I was just to look at sales, then the coupon won hands down because
Yeah, I'm just saying
I made
that's the thing that
nine
matters.
sales that week versus 3. But you also have to take into account traffic and listing
Why?
because of listing and
Yeah,
all that.
because more people looked at it.
But so
Hander.
I,
If you was single, it's a double.
I think you
That's
take
traffic. This.
I
It's like,
think
hey
you
man,
take
check it
a
out.
ratio. I think it's much better to take a ratio and compare, say, what did I sell versus traffic generated and what was the ratio? And it still was coupon was better. Much more traffic, or much better traffic compared to the sales than traffic compared to the sales, or compared to much better sale traffic compared to coupon than, and I'm talking about a public coupon. You can do public or you can do private. Public will announce it on your store, whereas a sales event automatically goes on your store. But if you took traffic, I had a whole lot more traffic than I had sales with the sales event. So the ratio was much better on the coupon.
Okay. Sounds good.
So I would say, folks, that if you're going to do something like that, do a coupon. Plus, it looks better. I think the reason is it attracts more attention because it's red. It comes out in red ink, red print. I think if they did the sales event that same way or put it in a different color, it probably would work about the same. But because they've got it dashed in black and the new price in black, people don't really, they don't pay as much attention as, oh Lord, you can get a 20, 25 or 15 or 10% coupon off this automatically, an automatic coupon. Oh. So I think it's a little psychological. But yes, there's what I learned that I did confirm, or I am confirming, and looking at previous data, the coupon seems to be a better way to go, but we'll see this week.
I hope you sell $75 this week. That'd be cool.
That would, and then I would look at the traffic and
Yeah.
see what it was. I mean, but there you go. There's something you learned. Did you learn anything this week?
I learned a lot of things this week. Nothing about eBay.
There you go, folks. You learned a lot of things this week.
I did. I went to Savannah, learned a bunch of stuff. It was cool.
Oh, my brain's
Training
fried,
and learning.
folks. Training sucks for a new job. I'm just telling you that. It sucks.
I agree.
But anyway, so I guess we need to go on to our eBay news, see what we got there for our listening folks. If we got anything that could be of use to them.
Thing that was interesting was I read this article about a seller. A seller was asking help on their eBay account. Clicked on the banner that it led them to an eBay customer service. Instead, it was a third-party ad. They believed the eBay verification provided them with a credit card, and they were thinking it was going to cost them $1, and it ended up costing them $56 to answer a question. So
Cost
eBay,
them $56 to
yeah,
answer a question? Why were you paying to answer a question?
I don't know. It's just something I read on the internet. I don't know if it's true or not, but provided their credit card for supposed $1 refundable charge, but they were later billed $56. Another shared a screenshot of the ad, confirming that one click costs you $56. So they realized that it wasn't eBay; it was another company that was like trying to sell you stuff. So they ended up being charged $56 to ask a question. So be careful of that in case you see a thing.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Honestly, and I'm going to say this, folks, eBay is responsible for that.
Mm-hmm.
eBay is responsible for that because eBay makes their customer service so hard to get a hold of,
No, I agree with that.
talk
Yeah.
to, work with, anything like that. How many other billion-dollar companies, and I'm knocking eBay here a little bit, even though I make a good chunk of change off of eBay, and it's built this room so far. But how many other billion-dollar companies that has a non-existent customer service?
And they have none. Like if you
Right.
try to call them, you're better off not. So I agree with that. All right, another thing this week was eBay. Did you hear about the final value fees going up for 2025? It was leaked by accident and it wasn't supposed to be out yet. But effective February 14th, 2025, they will hike up to 3.5% fees on your total price, including taxes and shipping, along with the payment processing cost. eBay justified their increase by their spend that they're doing for their upgrades with the AI. Come on, sucks.
Their AI does suck. In fact, why don't you just can that fee, eBay, and give us back our original with no AI? Because your AI is horrible.
I agree.
Just get rid of it
They're trying to do better for us.
at my expense. They're $1 billion company. Come on now, this is crazy.
Sounds like a lot. So if you sold $10,000 times
$350.
10, yeah, it's not much. Yeah, $350. It's not
Take
going to affect your
take
life.
that and 10 million and time.
Oh no, it's a lot of money for them,
Yeah, oh yeah.
but 0.35%.
Is that what it's saying? Is
Yeah,
0.35%?
0.35%.
Then it's even
It's not
less.
3.5%. It's much. It's nothing.
Okay, so if it's 0.35,
35%.
then it's 10,000. So it's
Yeah,
only
I
like
mean it's
three
less
dollars
than
and fifty
half a
cents.
percent.
It's only $3.50
I was trying to
on
say. I'm not
10,000.
good. Yeah,
Okay, I was like 3.5% or 0.35%. Wait a minute,
no, not 3.5%.
it's
It's
point
0.35.
0.35%.
Yeah,
So
so it's not.
let's correct our math there, folks. Let's make sure we're right before you kill us. Okay, so on $1,000 times on $1,000, it would be $3.50.
Exactly.
So it'd be $35 on 10,000 instead of
$1,000.
350.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it still does add up. You're right. It's next to nothing on us, but still, I hate the fact they go up. I had an item this past week that I sold that I barely made more than them.
oh, I agree. But did you try to buy eggs this week? I did.
Well, yeah, we did, but I don't keep up with that. My wife does.
They killed like half the freaking chickens in the United States because there was some kind of disease. I went to go buy an 18 pack of the eggs I always buy, which are usually like $5.95, and they were $11. They doubled in price this week.
Good Lord.
Crazy.
Everything's still going up, folks.
Oh yeah,
And I've heard, and again, not getting political, but I've heard, oh, this, oh, that, so and so this, so and so that, party this, party that. Here's the thing, folks. Maybe it would be good if we got out of being the world's base currency because our stuff, there's so much money of ours out there that it's just, there's not much way to get away from it. The problem is they're not paying us on the bottom. We're having to do extra things like work all day, work 12 hours, and then try to list on eBay too, just to buy eggs. That's what I can do with my $30. I can buy one thing of eggs.
yeah. Eggs have grown up and gone up in price by 37% in the last 2 weeks.
It's because they're not letting us put antibiotics to chickens anymore.
Yeah. So it's a problem. They killed way too many. I think they overestimated what the problem was and killed way too many hens that were laying eggs.
My dad used to be a chicken farmer
Mm-hmm.
for a long time, and then part of the reason he got out of it is because once they got to where they did not have to have the antibiotic, they could not put antibiotics to them anymore. It was a money losing proposition. It was just not making any money. Some of you guys listen to us may be chicken farmers or if you're a farmer, God bless you. Please keep going as best you can. I understand. I grew up with that, so
I grew up in Delaware. That's where the
yeah.
chickens all come. Yeah,
There's chicken everywhere.
I know.
The biggest chicken company in the United States is based out of Arkansas. It is what it is, but I'm not sure what it hurt to give antibiotics. I'm not sure how it was actually affecting us to have antibiotics in our chickens. Uh,
So if you sell stuff and you're looking to ship it, there's a new bill that's going out called the Pony Up Act. Was it introduced by a couple of representatives in the U.S. House?
Where are they from and who are they? Because I got a feeling they're getting ready to cost me more money.
Cleveland, Graves, Alford, and Ames to hold USPS accountable for delays in delivery of mail. They're talking about if they delay your mail, then you can charge them and incur fees from them. But it's going to cost the USPS a lot of money. So they're going to end up raising our rates
Yeah,
because something delayed by a day. Come on.
yeah. Like that just swell. I was already thinking the other day. I was like, if you're the thing about USPS anyway, we need to get away from this, folks. We need to stop offering USPS really to our customers. Although it's the cheapest one, and that's that
Oh,
attracts more
sure.
customers. But if you lose something on USPS, you're just out. Just go ahead and give them their mobile bank account and write it off. You're not going to get your insurance. At least I've never heard of anybody getting. I've not heard anybody getting their claim back from USPS.
I've never been successful. I've tried 3 times. Every time there's some reason why they're not going to pay you. So don't get excited. You're not getting any money back.
Yeah. Whereas I have had UPS actually. They'd be like, show us the receipt, what was paid for it, or what you were paid for it, and they gave me the money, so I wasn't out anything. Which is actually good for a reseller because here's the thing: if you bought it at a certain price and you sell it at a certain price, you take the receipt that you sold it into UPS and they refund you that money.
Yeah, and that's what they should do. And I videotape 80% of the stuff I ship, so I can show them, hey, this is what it was. This that like that one. I tried to file a claim for that statue that I sent with the sheep, and his head got ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got denied, and that was definitely the box is ripped completely off, and they definitely ran over it with a forklift or something, and they didn't pay me anything. I don't know. It was not packed properly. What? So
Was not packed properly. You want to watch the video?
yeah, I told them I had a video. They didn't give a shit.
U.S. Postal Service. It's our government. And I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
folks, the IRS, and you can look this up, the IRS does not accept mail from the USPS. You want to mail in your taxes? It's got to be mailed FedEx or UPS.
So this week I definitely had a sale that ended up happening, but this is what I learned this week. Even though they ask 14 questions, they might actually buy something from you. Because in the past, if they ask a few questions, I'm like, yeah, okay, I move on. But I had a Mickey Mantle plate that you could tell that the picture was taken and there was a little bit of shine on it from the light box I was using. And they were like, oh, is that this? Is that? Is that? And then they asked me about every single picture. There was nothing wrong with the plate. And then eventually they actually bought it. So usually after the second question, I quit answering them. Slow week. I kept answering and they ended up buying it. I made $32 on a plate.
On a plate.
On a
You
plate.
actually sold a plate. That's
I
like,
sold a plate for $31.96 plus shipping. Ended up being like a $44.
so maybe everything does sell eventually.
It does. I can't believe I sold that plate.
Everything sells eventually, folks.
Yes. Even sell commemorative plates,
I'm thinking about
but most of the time you
thinking
can't.
about putting that in a yard sale right there, folks. That's a 25,000 BTU wood stove. That thing will heat the whole house. I'm pretty sure if I put that in now here in the eBay room, I will be in my underwear in here listing.
You can get a smaller one.
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't even need it. You don't have your heater on tonight.
No, it's unreasonably warm in January in North Carolina. We've been having 70-degree days. It's like we had snow like 2 weeks and then 70 degrees. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. What is going on? And
Global warming.
my wife's like, winter's over. I'm like, no, probably not. It's probably going to snap cold again.
It definitely is.
But which would be neat if it would because we're starting to see bugs coming out.
Kill them all.
So
Not
yeah, if it would snap cold and stay cold for 3 or 4 days straight, just drop back down and hit the teens. Yes, it'd be cold, but it would be worth it for the summer, for the mosquito season. And the only thing that it won't kill is roaches. Those are some tough insects.
I agree.
Anyway, folks, we're glad you have joined us for this
Hey, thanks for stopping by.
terrible
Not the longest show we ever had, but you know what? We had a good time. Hopefully, you had a good time. He had a good time. He's giggling like a freaking schoolgirl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. Whether it's on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube.
I
Um,
have the. I'm moving, right? So I've got like half the trunk full of picker pass stuff. I mean, like, okay, this will work for picker pass. This will work for picker pass. And then I got to put all my stuff in the other half of the trunk.
you gonna do your sipping and shipping from the hotel room?
I'm not shipping because I'm not selling.
Folks, comment on this. Tell us if you think he's making a huge mistake.
I probably am, but I understand my wife. I love my wife. She's the greatest person I ever met in my life. And she says, "Oh, I'll ship it for you." But I can tell you right now, if she has to ship 13 die-cast cars for $5 a piece, she'll be like, "This isn't worth our time." And I don't want to delist a bunch of stuff. I'm better off just putting it on hold 60 days, move it to Savannah, and ship it myself.
That may be the case, but I do think it's going to be hard. I think you got a hard restart.
I'm going to list stuff the whole time. It'll be fine. Whatever. It'll work out. Or not. Who knows? I'm not an eBay expert. I'm just pretty. I love you laughed. It's good. I am pretty.
I was trying not to.
Pretty good looking. I've seen uglier fellas. Mainly burn victims.
I don't.
But you
I
know,
don't rate fellas.
come on. What do you think?
I don't rate fellas. Oh,
I'll cut that out.
Lord have mercy. Folks, again, we're very thankful that you're stuck around
Thanks
this
for
long.
staying around. We love you guys. We're going to try to do this probably the next couple weeks. I'm going to try to get some people in here since I'm not running my store and your stores. You're doing
We
what
may
you're
have to
doing.
do a few different things. We may have to
Yeah.
add in a sanding session where I'm just over there at the wall just sanding. And
Standing.
if that
Yes.
don't work, I'll put a thong on it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
I'm going to keep you guys entertained.
Get a leopard print thong. Mike and Alex just said we're not.
Yeah, we're out.
We're not subscribing to that show anymore.
I was going to go to this one and that one. I can't because I'm moving, but
That show was
we
going
need
downhill.
we need to talk about there's a Nashville meetup.
There is a Nashville meetup coming up. I think Mike just did a shout out to his channel.
Mike Metco meetups.
There is one definitely coming up in Nashville, Tennessee.
I think that'll be the first one I go to this year. The other ones I was going to go to, I just don't have time.
I don't have right now with the job I'm doing, I don't have the PTO right now.
Yeah.
So I want to save the PTO for the one that we're trying to plan.
Yes.
If that one doesn't work out June or July, I got to nail down the date for that. If it doesn't work out, then I'm going to go to one this fall.
All right, man.
But I can't wait for yard sale season because you've been doing all this stuff for $1.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to send my wife out there with some cash or something.
Yeah.
It'll be so much better than because there's been no sourcing because everywhere I was sourcing, the prices have skyrocketed so much. I can't get that out of it. So everybody is looking for deals. Everybody, not just resellers. And it's driving the price of stuff up. But it's for some reason eBay we still can't sell it for more than you can't sell it for more than what you can sell it for. So when your sourcing is as high as what you can sell it for,
it would cost you to buy it, so you can't buy it. I agree.
All
right, everybody. Thank you guys for stopping by. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next week.